All right, so understanding why the market moves and where it goes, right? We already talked about market moves from liquidity to liquidity and also rebalances, right? Rebalance is just, again, just a pullback, right? A huge move up, we're gonna want to make a move down, right? Sometimes we'll make a small move down, right, and then go back up, right? It really depends, right? So when you understand that, um, yeah, it fuck, it gets easier to read market over and over, right? After you create an uptrend, right, you break it, and then you want to play downside, right? And sometimes this could be just a move to make another move back up, right? It really doesn't matter. It really just depends how we shift, right? Because if you focus your attention here, right, we could break above this, right? Start creating more bullish support and then continue higher, targeting these draws on liquidity, right? Which is a magnet for price, right? Or we could target previous fair value gaps or whatever, right? And then understanding the difference between a continuation and a reversal, right? A continuation will simply, let's say when we were downtrending, we were forming bearish fair value gaps. These bearish fair value gaps would have respected, right? And if we see bearish fair value gaps being disrespected, then we're most likely going to target the highs, right? We're now changing direction, right? We're coming from a downtrend, we broke up this structure, and now we're switching to the upside, right? We could pull our lungs, right? And another thing you guys have to also keep in mind is manipulation, right? The market is manipulated like fucking crazy, right? Um, I'm gonna kind of quickly go over power of three, right? So it all fits in one video, right? So we're accumulating, which is the range, right? Or the range could look something like this, right? It don't matter, right? Accumulation could look something like this too. Accumulation could look something like this, like a little tiny uptrend, right? Whatever, right? The point is we're just stuck in a range, right? After that, price doesn't know where it's going. We'll manipulate up, right? Get confirmation and we'll manipulate down. That's power of three, right? Manipulation means fake out, right? Some people are like, what the fuck? Why are you saying all these words that sound like nonsense, right? Accumulation is just your range, right? Manipulation is just your fake out, and then the distribution is the actual way it's gonna go. So it's moving, you get faked out, they're like psych, and then you go lower, right? And you'll see this differently, right? Because sometimes, again, mm, market, let's say this is New York session, right? New York session, we're uptrending, boom, we insert the last high, right? After that, we start manipulating like this, right? And then we look like we're probably gonna take down these lows, right? But we end up having a spike to the upside, right? From here, people are like, oh shit, we're probably gonna go to the upside, we're probably gonna take this high, we're probably gonna insert another high, right? It really depends on the time of the day, right? Sometimes the last 2 hours of market, we might actually see a pop up to the upside, and sometimes where this was just a pullback to go lower because again, we see that we were uptrending. People say, oh, this is obvious longs, right? And they're gonna long here, right? And then get completely stopped out, right? Which again, it all depends on your risk to reward. That will be a fire loss because you'll kind of see why, right? You see you have this, right? You also see you have like your inversion fair value gap, right? But sometimes you don't see that we have this liquidity that we haven't swept, which is probably why we made this move to go lower to hit that liquidity, right? Probably retrace into fair value gap, right? And then go higher, right? Sometimes you guys also got to pay attention to how market's been behaving the previous weeks, right? Because manipulation isn't going to be like the same shit like next week or this week, right? It's going to move different ways, right? Sometimes we're going to insert the high and we're only going to insert the high for that session. After that, we're going to either consolidate or move to the downside, right? You got to focus on the last high that was inserted, right? Bro, it's the most obvious shit, right? Like, bro, market moves, it makes the last high, right? When you identify the last high, now you could look for downside, right? Because the next high is most likely going to be made in the pre-market, right? Because we're already going to fucking downtrend, right? We're going to have a downtrend on like a smaller time frame, which is like the uh higher time frame pullback, whatever, right? And then go higher probably in the pre-market, right? It's some shit people don't pay attention to, and it's not stupid, right? Because I could see how some people, like yesterday, for example, we just continued up higher and we had no signs of inserting the last high, right? Like here, we inserted this, but it was already, it's too early to be like, oh, reversal, this and that, right? Plus, we still have like bullish structure. We have this here. We have not broken on a single low, right? We are still in an uptrend, right? So we're continuing higher, right? We're creating bullish fair value gaps. We're creating bullish continuation. We're creating bullish momentum, right? Which is why I took longs here, right? Where was it? It was here. Longs here because we were respecting that, right? And then from here we did what? We had our change in the state, market structure, whatever, inversion fair value gaps, and now we're targeting what? Fair value gaps that we left behind, right? You can see we stopped at this big ass fair value gap, probably because it was a higher time frame fair value gap. Yeah, we stopped on that one, and we're also getting a higher time frame change of direction, right? Because look, if we see in the 5 minute, we could see a 5 minute change, but if we go on the 30 minute, this is just a pullback as of now, right? A 30 minute change would be if we broke below these lows. Actually, nah, here's fine. But this will probably be a 1 hour change. Or a daily? No, daily, no. Maybe 4 hour. Yeah, it's a 4 hour change. So a break below here is a 4 hour change because this was the last low that was inserted on the 4 hour. But if we go on the 30 minute, we don't see that. The last low that was inserted on the 30 minute or the last change in a state, which is the previous closed candles were here, right? Um, Basically that shit. As of now, does anyone have any questions? I'm about to pull them up. My bad if I spoke too quick. Bro, 6 people already, bro. This is so bad. Alright, that's cool. I'll fucking post this up. It don't matter. Bro, this is exactly why I don't do this shit no more, bro. People are like, Fabrics gets rich off courses. Nigga, I don't fucking sell shit besides fucking dog shit scraps, bro. I do this shit because some of you are generally not. I'm not gonna say everyone, bro. If I post this shit, some nigga clips this shit, bro, I get canceled, bro. It ain't my fault, bro. I try teaching the best of my ability, helping whoever who wants to be helped, right? You guys are here, enjoy it. I'm gonna post this up too, so you guys can rewatch, alright? Cause this is sharing my knowledge, right? My knowledge is gonna get me far. It could get you far too if you actually pay attention and put the work in yourselves, and yeah. So I'm gonna be like a teacher, like, uh, I'm only doing this for y'all. I'm not doing this for me. I'm already fucking doing my shit, bro. It's just to help out y'all, right? Alright, so we can see in the 4 hour here, we were having signs of having some shorts, right? So I'm not gonna be surprised if next week we're gonna see a dump, probably towards these lows here, right? Because we have been aggressively pushing to the upside, right? And I'm not gonna be like, oh shit, like we're gonna have a massive pullback someday, massive pullback, whatever, right? That shit is corny. That shit is like, bro, that's not gonna happen unless a higher time frame market structure shift. As of now, we're still uptrending, but we'll compare, like, let's say when we were downtrending here, these were shorts, bro. All these were shorts. Shorts till whenever we came to the upside. Why is it shorts? Because on the daily, we broke structure to the downside, right? Obviously, we could have when we were uptrending, we could have played shorts as well, but these were obvious shorts every single day. Bias was bearish, bearish, bearish until fucking bullish, right? And as of now, the bias has been bullish until bearish, right? Um, let's see, and I feel like another move like this, another pullback like that, will be considered if we break below. As of right now, we're breaking below here. We saw this massive candle close, but if we break below here, I expect, I guess, a another huge move to the downside, probably like kind of the same like this, right? Something like that, right? Which looks fair because look, see, we also moved up aggressively last year as well. Um, and then had an aggressive move down and then come up and then make an aggressive move and then come back up, right? It's literally so simple, right? Obviously you scale down on your smaller time frames to actually look for the reaction, right? Um, but yeah, understand where you are on the higher time frame and then just follow that down with the smaller time frame, right? Because let's just put it here for example, right? We're coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down, but let's just say this is the 1 hour, right? 1 hour, right? But during these like massive pullbacks or massive like uh events, right? We're also gonna add one right here. We're gonna do, actually, hold on. Gonna get rid of this, gonna get rid of this because it's these are the same. This and this are the same, right? The high and then the low and then the continuation, right? We'll put that here, right? So right here, this is the 1 hour, right? But when you see these, right, it's a bunch of 5 minute candles, right? So you'll see a 5 minute structure like 5 minute structure like this, then you could take some shorts. And this is how I find all my trades majority of the time. Alright, you'll see that 1 hour and you'll see that on the 5 minute and then you could see this develop causing this move down here, right? What are you gonna target? Higher time frame fair value gaps or previous draws on liquidity, right? Then we're also gonna see right here, see this right here. Actually, it's a better example here because then you'll see that we swept liquidity and now we're on a higher time frame level, which will be a 1 hour fair value gap. So now we're seeing we could see a bounce from here, right? Because people are gonna be like, how do I know if we're gonna bounce, right? The thing is you don't, you're gonna have to use levels for this, right? So you're gonna use like a 1 hour fair value gap or let's say just a level that we keep respecting, right? So you're gonna see that like here, right? Or you're gonna witness how we react to that, right? If we start forming bullish structure, right? So let's say some shit like this. That's already the upside, right? So this on the 1 hour is this on the 5 minute. Okay, and when we get that clear, you'll probably see inversion fair value gap, a change in a state, right? To the upside, probably a bullish fair value gap as well, right? You're gonna want to take some longs here. And that's after you swap liquidity and you find yourself uh, on a level or a fair value gap or just something that's supporting it, right? Because if you don't have a support, that's when setups tend to fail to the downside, which is why a lot of people get fake. Bro, this is which is why fucking Chino and bro Chino be saying the most dumbest shit. That shit's hella funny. I be fucking logging and he's fucking shorting like motherfucker's a dumbass. What's up, Peeps? Smart Money Core, bro. This motherfucker's goated, bro. He leverages hella, bro. I'm still smarter than him though. But he's a good risk manager. For him leveraging that huge account, that takes skill, bro. Like straight up. All right, and then you're gonna see like this run up here, right? You're gonna see like a run up here, And these are just continuation models, right? Which is just this is the 1 hour, right? And what you're basically looking for is fair value gaps here. Alright, just a simple entry on a fair value gap. Uh, fuck, where the fuck is the here? And for these to kind of work, you kind of have to find a draw on liquidity. What is draw liquidity? What is like, um, fuck. What is draw liquidity? Draw liquidity is the definition of basically finding your target, finding an area where market wants to go. Like, let's say like a fish, right? No, actually, no, no, not like a fish. Let's just take bitches for example, right? You guys know bitches are attracted clubs, right? They do anything to go to the club, and once they find the club, they stay there, and then they leave, right? Which is what liquidity is, right? They're like bitches, right? So let's say this is a previous high, so the club, right? And here, I'll do it up here. Like this is the previous high up here, right? Previous club. We'll say this was from like long time ago, right? Next day market opens, right? Let's say pre-market was like here, whatever, pre-market. But then we have a direction to the upside, right? It's a clear move to the upside. But where are we going? To the club, right? We're going to the fucking upside, right? When we see a direction where it's so fucking obvious, then we're gonna fucking find setups to that, right? Which is why when you see a bitch fucking obviously about to go out, shake some ass, do whatever, be a whore, whatever, right? You're gonna want to take some setups to the upside to reach that. Because once you reach that, right, boom, you could do whatever the fuck you want, right? Or whatever, right? You just know this is the obvious draw in liquidity, right? Because market is attracted to liquidity. Bitches are attracted to clubs, right? Drinking, smoking, all that, right? Uh, fair value gaps as well, right? Bro, no way market's coming down. Hold up. I'll low key. Ah, fuck. I should have entered those shorts, bro. Fuck. We broke that level. Hold up. Let me see if I can enter some shit to at least get something going on. Where the fuck is my phone at? And what are we hitting? 740, 30. See, this is what I mean. Like, this is how you find your targets. Like, here. This is a previous drawn liquidity. It's the obvious low that was inserted, right? So this is a potential target, and look at where the bitch is going, right? You can see it coming down. You can see it coming down. But why did it move down, right? Why is it moving down? How do I find the continuation model for BCO? Look, it's just as simple, right? You find where we rejected, right? What are we rejecting? As of right now, we don't see shit, right? Let's go on the 3 minute. What are we rejecting? Oh shit, we're rejecting this 3 minute fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. We're not going above it, right? If we see this as well, we didn't even close above um the previous 3 minute um change in the state, right? We didn't break structure to the upside, right? We're still downtrending, right? So we're still bearish until bullish, right? Um, what else did we do, right? We uh broke here, created a fair value up here, and let's see, DQQ. Yeah, we just started breaking. We just started seeing shit to the downside, right? What could we do here? Shorts to what? The next drawn liquidity. Bro, this is gonna fucking make people eat, bro. What'd I say? Fuck! I should have fucking entered these shorts. Bro, I can't be greedy though. But I could have alerted that shit to for someone else to take, bro. God damn. Yeah, I've been called shorts. Look, see, this is where market's going. This is how you choose your targets by these points, right? and it's gonna touch it. Just give it time. And if it doesn't touch, then I'm gay, right? But that's literally how the market goes, right? And this is how you find your continuation model. You find where is your resistance or where is your support. For example, this is a bearish continuation model, right? We find our resistance, which is this 3-minute fair value gap. We find our confirmations, which is this change in the state and this fair value gap here. Boom, to the downside, right? I also had this in the morning, right? We're already having signs of downside, right? Bro, this is so much drawing. We already had like signs of downside, which was we broke below this higher time frame structure. We saw that we rejected that over the pre-market. We saw that we came down lower. We also see that we closed below these series of candles, right? And this is like an obvious downtrend, right? What are we targeting? These previous lows, right? In the morning market open, we had what? Resistance. This bearish for value gap, right? Slide down to the 5-minute, right? I took shorts where? Here, and then got stopped out here, and then trade ran lower. How do I find the entry point? Simply using the fib, right? Mark the previous high, mark the previous low. This is your entry. My dumbass didn't enter though. Fuck me. I would have stayed and fucking caught all this shit. But this is why I was bearish and why I was short. Alright. Did it touch it yet? No, not yet. But you guys are gonna see it's gonna touch it. Probably not to this live. I don't know, whatever. Alright, but that's basically kind of like recap of the day, right? It's nothing too crazy, and then I've already went over the strategy as well. Anybody have any questions before I leave? Oh shit, good shit, Z Boogie. Bro, these were obvious shorts, bro. And it's gonna hit 740. Watch. I'm gonna put like $200 on it. Hold up. Alright, I entered. Bro, this is here. I'm up 1%. I'm back at break even. I entered somewhere here, I think. There. And this is just a little gamble trade just to hit this low. Or did we hit it? I see, I'm not too sure. Oh shit, I'm down $1. I'm down $2. I'm down $3. It's cool, it's fine, it's whatever. And I got stopped out. I got rid of $5. I'm hella retarded. Alright, it's whatever. I think I should have waited for here. This would have been entry, and then this would have been printed. Yeah. You guys know how to fucking trade. Or you guys probably don't know. That was just a bad example, whatever. Because there was no entry. I was just going off because we were so close in that John liquidity. I wanted to kind of like squeeze the bottle a little bit. But you know how like there's always like ketchup in a bottle, and or like toothpaste, right? Toothpaste, just squeeze out the little bit that's left. That's what I was just doing. It was not an actual trade. Nothing like that. Just a little see if I can get a little bit of toothpaste. Alright. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Loki done. Uh, but that was the trade. Simple as that. People are gonna say some bullshit. Alright, but this is trade. Resistance, or find the trend, right? Find the resistance or support of where you're going, right? And then target the previous lows, fair value gaps, whatever. Alright, draws and liquidity. We already saw that here. Alright, we're gonna hit this. Just taking a minute. But yeah. Mm, no questions. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna post this on YouTube and y'all could just replay it back there if y'all want. Later.